Hi, and welcome to yet another episode of Q&A Saturday. I'm Alison Beer of AlisonBeer.com, where I help adults who want to live lighthearted, reignite their creativity, and learn to draw their very own cartoon characters. Today, I'm dealing with a question I've had, which says, how on earth do I make sure that when I draw a character, it looks the same every single time and from many different angles? This is a great question. It's one that I get asked all the time. So take a look at my solution for you. So we're looking at wanting to be able to draw a face that looks the same every single time we draw it. And of course that takes a little bit of doing. So what I'm going to do is just use a very simple circle as a face here. And you know that I'm not an advocate for drawing circles one off like this, so it is very rough. And then let's imagine we've got guidelines like this. I do have another video about setting up faces, so you might want to take a look at that to understand about these guidelines, but here are our guidelines for now. Okay, so we're going to put our eyes, simple little dots for the eyes on this guideline here. Then we're going to give our chap a small nose, a smiley mouth, there his bottom lip. We're going to put in his ear as like this, give him some ears, and there we have him. Now we want to try and draw him the same each time, and the best way that we can do that is to use guidelines. So I'm just going to put these guidelines in here. That one's not quite in the right place. Let's take it up a little bit. Quite difficult to judge from the side of the page where to put the guideline, but anyway. Okay, one for his nose, one for his mouth, one for the bottom of his chin, one for the top of his head. Okay, so there we have guidelines, and I'm going to just make them slightly less dark. All right, and now we can go and put in another circle, working very roughly, get ourselves a circle which is about the same size. That one, and let's do another one here while we're at it. Circle within those guidelines. There we go. Okay, so now imagine, if we call this number 1, let's look at number 2, and imagine that number 2 is facing towards number 1. So here we have the same guy, but he is looking that way. So what we need to do is imagine that guideline for the center of his face. Just a moment, I'm going to put it here so that we don't have it too dark. Okay, so there's the guideline for the center of his face. We can now go and put in his eyes. So one eye here, this eye will look a little bit closer because of perspective. Then we're going to have his his nose there, his mouth, and he's going to have an ear, of course, which will be somewhere about here. On this side, let's imagine this is number 3. He's facing again towards number 1, but this is a 100% profile. So we're going to have his eye, we're going to have his nose, and we're going to have his lips, like that. And he will have an ear, which will be somewhere kind of like this. And there you see you actually have a character. So what we can do is come up with some hair for him. So let's give him some hair like this. Very, very rough. Probably have a little bit of hair that came down in front of his ears like this. And then looking at this side, you can see if we're looking at number 2, we need to get the hair coming from the opposite side of the center line. So there it comes across like that and kind of down. A little bit coming in front. And then we imagine how it goes round the back of his head like this. And we've got the other side coming in. Can't see that other ear, but the hair goes round somewhere like that. And then for this side on one, we've just got this side coming down. So let's imagine how that would look. The opposite side going out, and over the top of his head, this side coming down, and then around the back of the head, somewhere like that. Of course, he would have a neck as well, so bringing his neck down like this, and like this, and like this. So there you have him. I want to give you a couple of tips before you grab your pencil and have a go for yourself. And the thing is to actually really use this process, because as you use it more and more, you'll find it gets easier and easier to imagine your character for yourself from different angles and to get it consistent. But make use of the guidelines. So here you can use them to get your circles the right size, but also to troubleshoot. So here you can see how far above the top of the head should I take this hairline. You can also see, have I got the eyes consistent all the way across on every single iteration that I've drawn of my character? Have I got the nose in the right place? Have I got a similar sort of a shape? Have I got the mouth in the right place? What about the chin? You can see here I could bring this chin a little bit lower if I wanted to. And you can also just check out what's happening with the hair. So it's a very, very useful process to teach yourself to draw consistently and to start to imagine your character from different angles. So that's my answer to the question, how do I draw a character so that it always looks the same, no matter what angle I look at it from, and how many times I draw it. I hope you found it helpful, and of course I would love to hear from you if you did, or even if you didn't. Head on over to my website, www.alisonbeer.com, and sign up for email updates. You'll find a whole load of free goodies waiting for you over there, and I would love to stay in touch. Now, of course, it's your turn. Time to pick up that pencil and get started drawing for the day. Another day, another drawing. You know that you will make some progress. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Q&A Saturday.